At 4:30, a troubling trend across the nation. Criminals targeting churches, synagogues, and mosques with alarming frequency.
Yeah, Kara, state leaders are stepping up to help make sure houses of worship remain safe spaces here in Connecticut. I'm going to go over to Channel 3's Roger Sasan and live to explain all of it. Hey, Roger.
Hey, Brian. Hey, Kara. You know, this is one of those stories that's kind of bittersweet, right? It's great that more houses of worship will be able to upgrade their security systems, but it's really a bummer that this kind of step is necessary. But CBS News reports that over the last 5 years, attacks against houses of worship have doubled. Now, the governor announced today that a new $5 million grant from the state's bond commission will help nonprofits, including houses of worship, beef up their security. Today, a wide array of faith leaders gathered outside of a mosque in Berlin to celebrate what they believe is a step in the right direction.
We know there's still a lot of work to do together, but today's action, together with Connecticut's continued efforts to confront hate and strengthen protections for vulnerable communities, sends a clear message that every resident of this great state deserves to live, worship, and gather in freedom, in safety, and dignity.
And by the way, you can see more of today's announcement by downloading the WFSP Plus app. And don't forget to watch Eyewitness News Unscripted, streaming weekdays at 11 a.m., plus Eyewitness News Extra at 2 p.m. with Brian. I'm Roger Sasan, Channel 3 Eyewitness News. Brian, I'll send it back to you.